evening, magandang umaga po, magandang tanghali, magandang gabi. Welcome to Crossfire. This is Rita Gadi solo. My partners here are busy with something very important. We have Itos attending to some matters. And then we have Paglinawan, who is on this Sagit caravan that started from the Quezon Circle. And they're now proceeding, they proceeded rather, through the different provinces which are also historical in the sense. And this is the banner that they have: Save the Nation from War, Save the Nation from the EDCA. So whatever the mission is, they're already there in Cagayan, together with the governor, Governor Mamba. As a matter of fact, if you look at your Facebook, we have the photographs that Ado has been posting, and now they are there in Cagayan. From there, they will be proceeding to several places. Of course, we have there the proposed site for the U.S. bases, the EDCA. And then from there, they will be coming back here to Manila. But be that as it may, that's where my compatriots are, in a way. But this afternoon, our program title is Blast from the Past. From there, you could determine that I'm going to have a very important guest. We have some technical problems, but you will see him shortly. I am welcoming to our program on Crossfire, HOMOBONO ADAZA. Former member of the parliament. He has been very active with the Mindanao Alliance. He has had several big ideas as far as our country is concerned. And there are many things that we're going to discuss. But before that, just to give you a background, Bono ADAZA was in the opposition during the time of President Ferdinand Edralin Marcos. He was part of the canvassing of the votes in the Presidential Electoral Tribunal, which was Parliament. In other words, he was member of Parliament. And he was fondly called Mr. Asterisk because he was the one who stood beside the Speaker of the House, Speaker Nicanor Iniguez, and from there he was marking the results or the canvassed votes with an asterisk because this will be questioned later on. Be that as it may, the canvassing proceeded and the tally came and President Marcos won by a little over 1 million votes. HOMOBONO ADAZA has been in and out of the limelight as far as politics is concerned, but in many aspects he has given us bright ideas. And for some time, way back many years, he was my partner in a radio program in the early morning known as Sentido Común. So I'd like to welcome this afternoon. His name is quite popular as far as our generation is concerned. I'd like to introduce him now to this generation. HOMOBONO ADAZA. Bono, good afternoon.
Well, Rita.
Yes.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everyone.
Of course, we're internationally heard.
Well, I'm back. I am interested to be engaged in the next election in 2025 and 2028.
Very good.
Yeah, I'll be involved in the elections.
Very good.
And back when what's happening in the Philippines today, you're mentioning about this caravan, save the nation from EDCA.
From EDCA and from war. They're against the installation of additional sites. We already have 5 of them actually, with the first agreement that was signed between Noynoy Aquino and not between, he was witnessing the signing between the Secretary of Defense and the Ambassador of America some time back, and that EDCA agreement will expire in next year, I understand. But prior to that, with the visit of the Secretary of Defense of America, that big chunk of a man, there was another announcement made by Junior Marcos, and that is 4 additional bases that are going to be occupied by the American soldiers. So the caravan is a protest against the first EDCA and the second EDCA, which will be, I think, shortly signed also as an agreement. So that's the caravan I'm talking about, Bono.
Rita, are
Yes.
these people in the caravan Chinese or Filipinos?
That's a good question. These are Filipinos. We have
Chinese or Filipinos?
yes, of course.
Filipinos.
Yes.
It's not saving the country from ITSA. It should be from EDCA.
EDCA, yes, from EDCA, yes.
It should be saving the country from China.
Oh, do you
China
believe?
is
What?
occupying the West Philippine Sea.
Okay.
With nuclear installations in that area. That's Philippine territory according to the decision of the UN Arbitral Tribunal. Meaning China is violating the decision of the UN Arbitral Tribunal, and China is a member of the United Nations.
But Bono, that arbitral commission is not a member of any international organization. It's just an arbitration, and China did not participate. So they're not violating anything because they did not participate.
That's that non-participation is its Philippine jurisdiction. They're in a say to reform when they did not participate.
Well, Bono, okay. So
Yeah, they're in to reform.
that's
The only reason why China is behaving like a raging bull is because China is a member of the five-man country with veto powers. You know,
yes, the Security Council.
the enforcing agency, Rita, of the UN and the arbitral tribunals and the agency of the UN is the Security Council. Now, the Security Council has 15 members.
Yes.
If 14 members want to execute the decision of the UN Arbitral Tribunal and one member like China, who is a member of the five country veto countries in the Security Council, then nothing happens.
Bono, yeah, Bono, I'll interrupt you there. The tribunal, the arbitration tribunal, is not a member of the United Nations. No, it is not. China is a member of the Security Council, but the Security Council cannot implement whatever was decided in that arbitration tribunal because the arbitration tribunal is not part of the United Nations organization.
Yeah, Rita,
Yes.
the tribunal that decided the issue on the West Philippine Sea is internationally known as the UN Arbitral Tribunal.
No, it is not, Bono. No. That is what, that is what the American lawyers that represented the Philippines, that's what they want to say. Anyway, Bono, it's a long story as far as that is concerned because there have been other decisions made by the tribunal which also could not be implemented. But let's get now to the home front. Let's leave the discussions on the bases and the sites to those who are more knowledgeable, the military and the foreign affairs, because now there are additional 4 other bases. I just want to mention this for the sake of those listening to us. The second EDCA sites are not going to be, they're actually there now at the Camilo Osias Naval Base in Cagayan. That is where that caravan is. Camp Melchor de la Cruz in Isabela, the Balabac Island in Palawan, and Cagayan North International Airport, and that is there also in Cagayan. So anyway, we look at this particular time, and we will see how a decision can be made regarding this because this has not yet been actually signed. But I'd like to go to Philippine politics, Bono, because you said something about participating in the 2025 elections and the 2028, is it? Okay, so 2025, you have been in politics like both of us for the longest time. We're actually relics of the ancient two-party system where we had just the Nacionalista Party and the Liberal Party. After that, many things evolved, and then you had a national KBL movement, which is the supposedly a coalition of many political parties, But some of those parties that joined in still maintained liberal and nationalista. Then several other parties also surfaced. Now you have so many of them. So what do we see now as far as the political landscape is concerned? Can we ever go back to a two-party political system, or will we just have to contend with all of these parties that are surfacing now?
No, Rita,
Yes,
if I were to have my way,
yes,
as of the moment, we really need a countervailing force in the Philippines. I'm not in love with the United States of America. I'm in love only with the Republic of the Philippines, which I hope will change into another rank.
yes, sir.
Republic of no. I want the country change into, why should we be known as Filipinos? What did Philip do in the Philippines? 500 years.
A good point, yes.
So he died of cancer. That's why we're having cancer here in the Philippines. Cancer is the cancer in the mind.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what's wrong with that. No. And most of the countries in Asia have been changed. So the names have been changed.
Yes,
The foreign influence will erase. Like the West Indies, it's
Yes.
known as Indonesia.
yes.
Ceylon, it's known
Sri
as
Lanka.
Sri
Yeah.
Lanka.
That was, yeah.
Indonesia, it's split into Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos.
Yes.
Siam is now known as Thailand.
Thailand, yeah, Thai, yes.
Known as Myanmar.
Okay.
Why are we still asleep here and naming it, continually naming it as Philippines?
So we can-
Name to I'd like to debate anyone who wants to dispute.
So it's a stigma of a name, actually, Mona, right? A stigma of a name.
Marcos do that. This is Bongo Marcos. I'm just writing an article. No? The conjugal presidency.
Okay.
Conjugal presidency. I'm writing an article right now. It will be in my column tonight.
Uh-huh.
In one way.
Okay.
Conjugal presidency and comparing Bongo Marcos with FM and comparing Imelda with Lisa.
Okay.
Yeah, comparing the conjugal dictatorship with the conjugal presidency.
Oh my goodness. So this is the blast from the past that our title is actually saying. But I'm referring here to what has it been as far as the political landscape is concerned that now still stigmatizes in a way the way our politics is. I was talking about so many political parties. Immediately you came up with the change of our name as a nation, but
Next time, I want to convert this country into a federal and parliamentary system.
yes,
Some people want the return for liberal nationalista. No, I don't like the returner. Some people want to continue with the current many political parties which don't believe in anything. It will not, if Dolphy will like, Dolphy will say, that's a lot of nonsense. If I will have my way, I will adopt the system of Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore for about 10 years. People's Action Party. Malaysia of Abdul Rahman, UMNO, United Malaysian National Organization. Suharto, Golkar. These are pretty good examples of how a country can be effectively run under one political party, but only with a definite timeline. We can restore whatever we want later to parties, multi-parties. But in the meanwhile, there should be only one party in the Philippines that will define the vision of the country and implement that vision. Alam mo, ang problema natin dito ay mga gagong nagiging Pangulo ng Pilipinas, except Marcos. Ferdinand Marcos, I mean. He was the only one who was brilliant, who was vision, was disciplined, who knows what to do as president. The rest didn't know anything. They had no vision, including this one. No vision whatsoever.
this is a junior. This is a junior of the old man, Bono. So you still have.
The only thing they know, Rita, is television, not vision. Marcos, Ferdinand, yes, he had vision, you know. my last conversation of Marcos as president in Malacanang, he's trying to convince me to join him. Unfortunately, I refused for one reason or another. But, Marcos and I, we were political opponents. I mean, we were in different camps. As president, I remember parliament, only governor. But Marcos listened to what the opposition was saying. And Marcos wanted to talk to the opposition. I talked to Marcos several times on his request. And many opposition leaders would say, why are you talking to Marcos? Why? Marcos is president, I'm governor. The elections are over, let's stop talking about partisan politics. After the elections, let us join the leaders if they are doing good. Criticize them if they are doing bad. In the next election, we'll fight again. After the election, unite and cooperate if the program is good. And that's why I did. As Governor Comisari Sawingal, one of the two opposition governors in the country, I was the only governor in the opposition in Visayas and Mindanao. And Rita, I adopted the programs of Marcos in my province because they were good ones. Rural roads, I brought the rural roads to the tip of the mountains. Barangay water program, I built 15 communal water systems and more than 20,000 shallow and deep wells, thanks to Ferdinand Marcos. I put up a dairy farm. I put up a cotton field. I put up a communal water system. I put up so many other things. And Rita, what interests me in the Rita Marcos is the reorientation of the Filipino. That's what we did.
Very well. That's very well said, Bona. That's exactly what we're trying to come up with our title this afternoon, The Blast from the Past. Because there have been many already programs that were begun in the 20 years of President Adralin Marcos. And as you said, they were implemented in many ways throughout the country. The situation we have today, after 38 years since the Marcoses left, we are actually in some kind of a bedlam, so to speak, as so many presidents have passed. And yet, as you said, there is the lack of vision, the lack of direction, the lack of a certain ideal that we could really live up to. Now, all of this boils down to the kind of political the kind of political system that we have. And that is why, gathering from your experience, as you said, do you think it is still possible to have a unification of different political parties, but you still need a change in the fundamental law to have something that would be embedded in the Constitution itself?
Rita, the first thing that we should change is leaders, because changing the Constitution is dependent on the leader with the revolutionary vision that will change the total landscape of this country. The leader that, for instance, will give meaning to free education for everyone while reorienting the Filipino. Free medical attendance, build homes for Filipinos, living wage in our own country. According to President George Bush, when he was asked what is the richest country in the world, he said the richest country in the world is the Philippines, not only in terms of natural and human resources, but many other things. There is so much money here. That's why I wrote this fellow in Malacanang letter saying that it's a coupon galibanting around the world. He has not even produced a single dollar, he said promises. Here, he should ask these people are saying that they are the trustees of President Marcos and they have bank accounts, not only in Philippine banks, but in international banks. Why not do it? Because I got a letter here. Somebody came here with documents stating that this person has 1.3 trillion US dollars in the bank in the Philippines. I said, when he said Marcos, just talk to the president of the bank whether this document is genuine or not. It takes only a few minutes to do that. Why does he galibant around the world for investments? Investment in Indonesia, 8 billion, nothing. This is single the top of Brussels, 3 billion, nothing. America, 1.8 billion, nothing. My God, here is the money. And you must
been a year. He's been president only for a year. So when he speaks of investments coming from different foreign countries, it'll take a while. He himself has expressed this and has elaborated this in many narratives and many speeches that it will take a while. You don't expect that when he comes home after a foreign trip, it's there. So all of this will be, we will realize this as time goes by. That's precisely it. Now, going back to what you said, if there are indeed documents of the Marcos wealth, has the the junior Marcos, known about? Does he know about this? I mean, have you brought it up with him? Because
Let us read that. I didn't even give a single piece from the office to President or from him. As a matter of fact, the first letter was carried by a man who was close to him. I got no reply. So I wrote the open letters, no reply. And he says in his inaugural speech and in his big suna that let us unite and cooperate. I'm offering a hand of unity and cooperation, and he says nothing. Would that Marcos was calling me and talking to him, asking for cooperation. This guy, we're offering cooperation and unity, and he's silent.
okay, so here we are. Yeah, our program is Crossfire. So maybe through this program, the people around the president will take notice of the statements you're making here, because that's very vital. We are at that stage. You just had the Maharlika Fund, which was already approved in Congress and on the way to the desk of the president for signing. So this is where we are trying to gather as much funds for this hedge fund, as a matter of fact. But if you have documents that will be able to come up with other investments, not just coming from the institutions that they have mentioned in that law, then that would really be helping our people quite a lot.
Rita, I'm going to give you one example only. During the time of ERAP, the generals of ERAP dug in the they dug in the property of the client. I brought them to the CFI in Quezon City, they lost. They appealed to the Congress, they lost. They appealed to the Supreme Court, they lost. But my client got the soldiers are there. Now, one day, Doyle Laurel calls me and said, why don't we just compromise with ERAP? So I sat with ERAP, with Doyle and Senator Kalau, and ERAP said to me, I said, why don't we just split the 50 billion US dollars? Your government gives 25, my client, and me gives 25. And he said, well, that's reasonable. I said, you dig, we look, and we divide. You know, after 3 days, he changed his mind. Because the general told him, you know, Mr. President, until now, the RAM YOU forces are still intact. This ADAZA is the lawyer of the RAM. And when ADAZA gets his share of 7.3 billion US dollars, he will give 100 million to the RAM, YOU, the amount they go, you will lose, Mr. President, and the ADAZA will get you 25 billion US dollars. Imagine he got intrigued. He was out of power.
Yeah.
You know, if he's to the agreement, Rita, Iraq would have finished his term.
Oh my, yeah. Well, the Chinese have a saying that if we live in interesting times, that could be rather dangerous and precarious. But you mentioned something about the need for us to have good leaders first before we can even change the fundamental law. But good leaders are elected into office, and you know, the system of election that we have does not exactly come up with good leaders. I'm referring to the different positions and offices throughout the country. We have an election coming in 2025. So if we are going to have good leaders, what do we do with the system of election that we have so that really the good leaders will be elected into office?
So the electoral system.
Yes.
Alam mo, when I was running for governor of Misamis Oriental, I told my lawyer, I'm going to Cagayan de Oro. Why? I'm going to run for governor. You have money? I said, yes. How much? 3,000 in my pocket. fighting Marcos and the rest. Ay, ako litin ng funny of no mayor, no councilor, no tanod. Iko, you know, March, listen to this. I'm not talking psychiatrically, but politically. It's madmen who change the world. Madmen like Mao Zedong, Tu Enlai, Lenin, Trotsky, Castro, Nasser. You're the madmen who changed the world. I'm one madman who has changed this experience. And after 2 weeks, he followed me and gave me 200,000. And I beat the forces of Marcos and Pelaez by 21,000 votes.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Yes. There are men of destiny, men of circumstance, men that were actually part of the historical movement, you know how it goes. But going back to the electoral system, we still need major revisions as far as the voting is concerned. I think they're discussing this now for some kind of a hybrid form of the electoral process, utilizing the accounting machines that are already there. And dami-dami kasi niyan na kailangan hindi lang, well, you know, there has to be some things that will have to be done with this processing electoral ballots.
They can do that in 2025.
Yes.
Let's see whether they can do it. I'm only praying to God that I'm given enough life now to run in 2025 and speak to the people as in the old days, in the days of Greece and Rome, they used to say, when Cicero spoke, people listen, but when Demosthenes spoke, people march.
Yes, exactly. Yes, you had orators and good speakers, but that is just words that are eloquently, oratorically pronounced. What we need really is when a leader speaks, the people will follow. So here we are facing elections in 2025. There are already movements that have been done quite early enough, some people say, in Congress when you had the demotion of the senior deputy speaker, and then of course several departures from one political party and so forth. Are you expecting that there will be more of this rather, how do you call this, rather weird, but rather rather expected as far as political movements are concerned?
You know, there are many, to use the words of Ferdinand and Marcos, there are impondderable factors in this planet, especially in politics. You can never tell the imponderable factors. Who would ever think that Ponce and Rita will leave Marcos together with Ramos? But only with Ponce and Rita and Ramos, without the electoral issue. Who would follow in Rita and Ramos to begin with? He benefited by Marcos, but the election issue was so hot that people followed Marcos and Enrique and Ramos, and Enrique and Ramos stuck with the opposition. I should know. I still want to engage in Enrique and Ramos.
Exactly, and you should also know that there was the American hand.
I know, Rita.
You also should know that there was the American hand. You had the operatives from the State Department. In fact, the Secretary of State wrote a book on this, wrote a chapter on this in his book. So there you could see that, you know, they were responsible, as a matter of fact, for the manipulation and the maneuverings that were done. A matter of time, not a matter of how, because they already set the entrapment of Ferdinand Edralin Marcos to be removed from office. So it is not really how, because they already had that method, but it was when, and that occurred coinciding with what Enrile and Ramos did. So that was the American hand, Bono.
You know, Rita, the general perception is the Americans manipulate us. The Americans do not create the waves. These people are surf-riders. With the waves are there, they ride the waves, and we see the Americans as if they were the ones who created the waves. They did not create the waves in 1986. They just riders in the waves. You know, Rene was telling me, Rene Gaetano, he was with Enrile and Aguinaldo. He called Buffon, Admaslo Buffon. She said, Steve, please help us. Bring the American media men. Let them come to Aguinaldo. You know what the reply was on? He said, Rene, that's your problem. That's your problem. Bring them there. That's not our problem. Because they were waiting for the waves to grow. You know, these Americans, even as allies, they cannot be trusted. They abandoned Shanghai Sek. They abandoned Modern Diem. They abandoned Bantu. They abandoned Batista. They abandoned Noriega. You know, with the chips shut down, you cannot be relied upon. So see to it that when you deal with these people, you're strong. Whether Americans, China, or whoever they are, you must be strong when you deal with these people.
Yeah, it goes back to their history. Remember how the American natives said that they speak with forked tongues, you know. So what happened to the Indians? They were put in reservations, and that was it. Anyway, yeah, we're facing 2025, Bono. How do you see it? How do you see the political landscape for 2025?
No, Rita, I do not want to telegraph my punches.
Oh, okay, but you will be participating.
In this game, at this is staging point, because I'm no longer 21, I'm already 31. My acts must be subliminal at the beginning. The Sun Tzu's Art of War has two basic formula among other many rules. Sun Tzu says in the Art of War, know thy enemy and know thyself. The 100 battles, the 100 victories. Number 2, deceive your enemies but never your friends. So
Number 3, know the terrain. Yeah, Sun Tzu also mentioned the terrain. That's exactly what we're discussing now, the terrain. So, we're facing 2025, you're participating, but you're not mentioning what office you will be running for, but nonetheless, you will be active in the 2025 elections. What is the future of our country?
Rita, I'm just casting straws in the wind because the perception of many of these people, Bono is too old. Yes, no money too. I'm old, but I'm not too old. I was old as Methuselah, but as young as I am in life. Okay. I have no money. That's true. I have no money. I have no political party because now Mindanao Alliance is like the ostrich. It's burying its head in the sun. Okay. I have no followers. But let us see in 2025 whether Methuselah will form a very significant role in the election.
But of course, I always look forward to the movements that you begin and how you participate in them. So do not say that we are already of a certain age. Actually, Bono, you are as young as your revolutionary ideas are. And as they say, when you reach a certain age and you become radical or you become revolutionary, you cannot be accused anymore of doing anything wrong because of the age of wisdom, as they say. But be that as it, yes.
You know, Rita, every time they ask me about my age, I say I'm as old as Methuselah.
Yes.
And as young early morning sunrise.
Oh, beautiful.
History. In the Second World War, the major leaders were not younger than 70. As a matter of fact, post-war, there was one who was 84 years old. Konrad Adenauer of Germany. Churchill was about 70. FDR was about 70. De Gaulle was about 70. Jean Cachet was about 70. Okay. Matter, for 20 years, premier of Malaysia, quit at 91, resigned at 92, quit at 94. So, De Gaulle is not exactly young. He looks older than me. Still became president. He looks old, except that you know what. And many others, like this guy, Carter, he's 94, 96.
Yes, yes. His wife is now suffering from dementia, but they're together still. Be that as it may, Bono, you know, you are as young as your mind is, actually. So there is no hesitating as far as that is concerned. But I'm still going back to this blast from the past, which is what we learned 38 years ago as far as our political atmosphere is concerned. The horizon now in the future is completely different. So then again, how do we find out if we can have a better future come 2025? That's a good laugh, Bono.
my problem is I'm writing my books, no, and I don't like to telegraph my punches. Maybe within the year, if my money comes, I will publish my book of poems. I will publish my book, which is the vision of the country, the horizons, the manual of how to build the country, and then my commentaries on BBM, my commentaries on Duterte. I will publish all these books and hopefully publish more. No?
Yes, of course, yes. Your books are available in the National Bookstore or wherever because you've been writing already for quite a while and you've published already several.
Never seen my books. They don't like my face. And I don't like it. I don't think they are competent to sell books. The kind of books they sell from foreign countries are books that are for the rascals. It's not for the readers. You know, they should sell books from the Nobel Prize, book by Freedom Court, Pulitzer Prize. My God, I believe the books are selling their shit.
But Bono, the great majority of people don't read anymore because everything is already shortcut. We already have all of these gadgets. You have internet, you have technology, you have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all of this. And these are all abbreviations of the many things that you want to learn about. You could just Google. And now you have, yes, you have artificial intelligence, then you have chat GPS and all of this. And soon enough, technology will be not just overcoming, but will be taking over many of our thought processes. And people really hardly ever read. So where do we go from there?
Artificial intelligence, but artificial intelligence is created by people.
Also, yes.
So,
And fed into the machine so that the machine computes all of this data.
Data are not made by machines. They are made by people in the ultimate analysis. Machines don't run a country. People run the country. International organizations are not run by machines. They are run by people. So, okay, never mind artificial intelligence. It's all right. It can exist. Running factories, but they cannot run Mindanao.
Oh, speaking of Mindanao, Bono, how is it now? How do you see our island? I mean, both of us are from there. And over the years, we've been working for a federal form precisely because we always considered Mindanao as the last outpost of civilization, so to speak. Remember, in our dialect, in our language, we call Manila as a gobierno sa rawang nga tao, the government of a foreign people. So how are we in Mindanao, Bono?
No, something is perking up in Mindanao. I don't like to say it. No.
Good or bad?
Mindanao will wake up, especially when the country will be renamed Mindanao. It will be instrumental, by the way, in renaming the country. Why should the country be renamed to Mindanao? That's the last frontier.
Yes.
Never invaded completely by foreigners, not by the Japanese, not by the Americans, not by the British, not by the Chinese. I mean completely. The rest of the country will completely overrun by these foreigners, but not Mindanao. And Mindanao is the last frontier for us. May utak sa bayag, may bayag sa utak.
Yes, we have the strong legends and the epics, of course. Sultan Kudarat, Bantugan, and all of this of the ancient times actually are the ones that gives us our roots, and Mindanao is one such island. You said Mindanao will rise, and we will look forward to that, Bono. And with you leading there, you are the blast from the past. And now that you're coming in to participate more actively in the political landscape, that's quite encouraging and also very inspiring.
Well, I'm inspired because of what has been happening here after Ferdinand Marcos, by God. The promises of these people that they will be better, it's worse. with the passing days. They have not improved anything that Marcos has done.
Oh,
They have
but yeah, but we have a president now that carries the same name that also promises to come up with many of the programs his father began. Remember, he already came up with coming with the Kadiwa stores. Now he is going back to agriculture, doing a review of the land reform program, having already this geo mapping of the comprehensive agrarian reform and so forth. I heard for the first time the Secretary of Agriculture, the grandson of Conrado Estrella of ancient times. My goodness. So here we have, well, at least for the first year, the snippets of many of the programs that the father started. So the junior Marcos is well on the way. He is guiding, well, the national boat or the national ship towards several of those programs that his father actually began.
Well, Rita, in this country, you have to change many things, not just the political institutions, not just the economic institutions, not just the religious institutions. You know, we have like 500 years of what? And there's still, in the words of the rampant corruption. There's still criminality. There's still poverty. You know, we should have system change. Because our current system doesn't work. You know, even if, without meaning to offend, we are Roman Catholic. I went to church. I go to church. In the old days in my place, I go to church and one of the judges who come from UP said, you know, I don't like to go to church. Why? Imagine that other judge who comes from UP. He looks like a saint in church and after that he goes somewhere else. He goes somewhere else, violating the fundamental rules of the Ten Commandments. I said, that's why there should even be institutional changes here in all levels. You know, in all levels, there is corruption in all our institutions. Why don't we open our eyes? That's it.
Yeah, the sad part about the way progress is supposed to have improved our lives is that we have forgotten the basis of morality. You know, the ethical code. Our ancient laws really had some, you know, a foundation on morals. I mean, first to be good and to be virtuous before you even go legalistic. I think that's what we've forgotten, and that is why it is so encouraging to have you in this program, because from the past you're able to bring out what it was then. When you know, when you say honorable, addressing a member of parliament or a member of Congress, he indeed was honorable, but that is not the case now. It is just simply an adjective which doesn't mean anything. So that is why we are having this conversation this afternoon, is to remind those who are listening to us that it is still possible that we can have some moral ascendancy if we will just look into ourselves. You mentioned something about the church and so many other churches. We have forgotten the care of the soul, Bono.
You know, Rita, this is what I remember very well about my father. Now, he was a legendary mayor for about 20 years. When I was offered to leave the country for $100 million, I told my friend in Elamati, Dudoy, matagal na tayong kasama hanggang ngayon, hindi pa tayo nagkakilala. You know, Dudoy, never expect to let me go to other places for $100 million. In the words of my father, when wealth is lost, nothing is lost. When health is lost, something is lost. But when character is lost, everything is lost. So I told him, Dudoy, if I accept the $100 million that your group is offering to me, $100 million to leave the country before this next election, you know, my father is dead, but he will rise from his grave and berate me till hell freezes over. I cannot dishonor my father. I'm sorry. So,
Exactly.
we should go back to the fundamentals.
Yes.
If we do not go back to the fundamentals, we live the wrong way.
That is so important, Bono. You mentioned one word which perhaps we should give better attention to, and that is character, the face of our soul. So kara, that's the face of our soul. And as you said, it is not as a matter of being educated or going to school or finishing a degree. It is actually the character which comes from, from even the womb of a mother. You already have remote sensing from there, so that you could be able to determine even the future of the child as you carry the child in your womb. Many things, not only as far as school is concerned, but the family, education, and all of this. And that was how it was, you said, something about what it was then, and how to bring it back, or how to have this, instituted again, like character formation. How do you call it? Conduct. They call it character and good conduct. Now they're finally returning to this, but we lost it somewhere.
From grade to 7th grade, there's a book, Character and Conduct. I know, I've been reading the books of my elder sister, Character and Conduct.
Yes.
I read the books when I was only grade 1.
Yes.
And it's important. It's very, very important. In our place, and the term used by my father is pansagon. Pansagon, the sense of honor. Right?
The sense of honor, yes.
Yeah, it's lost. It's lost. Many worship mammon, not only in this country, but in many parts of the world. As if money is the thing that defines human life. Ano ba yan?
Values, the value system, that is what we should bring back. I remember in one of our programs a long time ago, Bono, when you were still joining me for this early broadcast on Sentido Común, it was you who was mentioning how in Japan, for instance, the young ones, before they even go into the academic curricula, they're already being taught, as you said, morals, character, and conduct, how to be able to adjust to each other, how to be able to have, the semblance, not just a semblance, but how they can behave so that they can live, good lives. And only after the first few years are they given arithmetic, reading, and so forth. So that is what we should be instituting, instead of having this lengthy K to 12 thing, and then they think that after you finish your 12th year, you can already be employed, or you're already a better person. But it's not the case. It begins from the beginning, right?
Rita, I want to give my father an example. Legendary mayor for about 20 years. He only graduated grade 7. After graduating grade 7, he taught in the elementary school. He became a foreman, he became a sanitary inspector, he became chief of police, he became vice mayor, later mayor, when he retired, became motor vehicle stuff. But important to him, they cannot say that my father is immoral. They cannot say that my father is a grafter. They only remember about him as a good leader and a man with character. That's what I remember about him. That's why I even told President Marcos, when he was convincing me to join him. I said, Mr. President, I really like to join you. But I cannot join you for several reasons. You were telling me you should join me for several reasons. I cannot also join you. Because first, what will the people say by joining you? Even if they'll say that they want you and not myself. But, and second, what my father told me is, when wealth is lost, nothing is lost. Health is lost, something is lost. Character is lost, everything is lost. I'm sorry, Mr. President, but I cannot join you. And he said, well, that's all right, but I cannot give you a permit to come to the United States because it's that you are security.
But Bono, exactly as you speak and the way you talk about your father, that is the blast from the past that we really miss today. Because here we have men of honor. It is not, as I said earlier, it's not a matter of how many degrees you've completed or what college education you've had. It actually boils down to character, and that is most important. How many times have we elected, not how many times, but we always elect people that do not have this. And that is the sad part about it. You speak of your father with reverence and with respect and with honor. And that's exactly how it was in the past, which we are trying to find out if it is still possible to relive this and to have this done in the future or perhaps in the present. That's why I keep on mentioning 2025 again. We will be putting leaders into office again. But what kind of people are this? You know, there's a book which I give away to some of my best friends. Everything I learned in life, I learned in kindergarten. And that's where it all begins. Even without the formal education, that's exactly where it all begins. Character, really.
That's right. That's right, Rita. I really learned a lot from my father and also from my mother, who's a school teacher. These are the things that I cannot forget when I make decisions.
Is it still possible? We have hope, Bono, that we will have, as you said, you've mentioned this also some time back, 110 million Filipinos. Surely that you could find 1, 2, 3, several thousands who will live up to a good character, to the morality that we need, to the proper values that ought to be instituted in each and every individual, especially those running for public office. So, are you hopeful, optimistic, or what?
I'm very promising about the future.
Very good.
I'm very, very optimistic.
Uh-huh.
It's the one that keeps me alive.
Yes.
Fighting for the people and fighting for this country. It has never left me the desire. It has become an obsession with me through the years. But you know, sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. But I think at this staging point, it's up. So that's why I look forward to 2025 and 2028.
That's very good, Bono. Yes, okay, we'll be closing in a while, but first I'd like to remind those who are watching us on Crossfire, our guest is HOMOBONO ADAZA, and from here we are going to learn a lot of lessons from the past, but of course we look forward to the future with him participating one more time, 2 more times, as far as our future is concerned. So do we have those who are, yes, we have Belinda Carina Boco, that is, yeah.
I'm Robert Kennedy, and I want, as a parting shot,
Yes.
coming from George Miller show, which Robert Kennedy popularized. People see things as they are and ask why. I treat things that never were and ask why not.
Why not? Exactly, indeed. So all of us are miracle workers in many ways. Bono, thank you very much for having joined us and Crossfire. I hope to have you again someday, and not with the technical problems that we're having now, but more actively on Zoom. Yes? Thank you, Bono.
And the people of this country and this country as well.
Thank you very much. I'd like to read now those who participated with us. Belinda Carina Boco. Thank you, Belinda. You're so active with so many of your posts. Rosita Hernandez. Yes, your hands are joined in prayers. Thank you very much. Elcas. Yes, good PM po, Ma'am Rita. Maestro Ado Paglinawan, more power po. Itis Valdes. Watching here in Riyadh. Madami po ako natutunan na lalaman. Proud po ako na taga Rizal Province. Thank you. Proud po ako na taga Rizal. Gawa po ni Vice President Tolentino, and glad to hear HOMOBONO ADAZA. Mukhang tama nga ho si Sir Bobby Tiglao, Noy Ghost. Sana magising po, Junior President natin. Gising na gising po siya. At marami nga pong ginagawa na para matupad na yung mga panaginip natin. Hugot University, long live, Ma'am Rita. Thank you very much. Mabuhay po kayo. Imelda Palapal, good afternoon po, Ma'am Rita, and Sir Bono ADAZA. Thank you. Carol Villanueva, hello, Miss Rita, Miss ADAZA. Listening from the USA. Summer Sense, the Junior is another story. Oh yes, it is a story in progress. Luco West Marcus Jr. is the man. The prophetic book, Biyag ni Lamang, reveals it all. The diver Marcos will be successful, and on the second dive to reassemble and unite the land, Lamang. Yes, these are the heroes of our epics. Jekris Vivas, give my salary ATM here also. Nel, I don't understand exact. Yes, whoever is in charge of your salary, I hope it gets to you. Nelexea Tasara, good afternoon, Miss Rita Attorney ADAZA, nice crossfire of ideas. Miles Tan, good afternoon po, ma'am and sir hosts. Lynn Mutas Salco, watching from Bacolod City. Osman Mohammed Zin, good evening everyone. Maria Lailani Somoza, wow, my idol. That refers to Bono ADAZA. Even President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. believed kay Bono ADAZA. You know, he would have been the vice president of President Marcos then if only Bono agreed. Yin Yang Din, mabuhay po kayo. Thank you very much for all of those who sent us your notes, your messages. This is the blast from the past with our guest Bono ADAZA. I'm solo now, Rita Gadi, but also on behalf of Itos Valdes and Ado Paglinawan, who is in Cagayan. Thank you very much for having joined us. This is Crossfire, and I'm Rita Gadi.